breaking news dropping about wide receiver Diontae Johnson. Thanks so much for clicking on this video and tuning into Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen. We made a video, not about this exactly, right? We didn't know the breaking news at the point, but we knew something was probably going to go down between the Baltimore Ravens and between Diontae Johnson because of John Harbaugh's press conference, his answer to the question about if he'd still be with the team during the bye week. We'll go into depth on it and we'll read you the quote, but it was a little cryptic. We knew something might be coming down the pipeline, and we'll get into it into today's video. But guys, this is exactly why you sub, because when breaking news happens for the Baltimore Ravens, I promise you guys, we are the first ones making a video over it. What news came down at this point like 10 minutes ago? We're going to have a video on the channel in like seconds. Obviously, you're watching it right now, so we got it up there already. But this is why you hit the subscribe button. We're here every single day of the week, sometimes 2 times a day. We're live every Tuesday. We're live during every single game. No better place to be on YouTube if you are a Ravens fan. Adam Schefter was the one who broke the news, tweeting out ESPN sources. Ravens are suspending wide receiver Diontae Johnson for 1 game for conduct detrimental to the team. And I don't even know where to begin, okay? I'm going to start and just say, you're not going to miss much with Diontae Johnson being gone. So far in his 4 games with Baltimore, he had 5 targets, 1 reception, 6 yards, 0 touchdowns. You just played the Philadelphia Eagles, and he failed to log a single snap. That's right, did not play a down of football against Philadelphia. But I think what is coming across to me the most harmful, and not harmful, is the fact that it was conduct detrimental to the team. That to me is the biggest, he's been there for what, 4 weeks? 5 weeks, barely even a month at this point, even if that's December 4th, probably a month and a couple days, and you're already having trouble with the team, with your brand new teammates who knew nothing about you going into it, and you come in and this is your first impression within a month, getting suspended for the team. Guys, this isn't like Madden, right? In Madden, you see a player, you see their skill set, and you say, cool, I want to add it to my team. Why not pair him with the team? This team's going to be unstoppable. This is real life. It's not just adding talent to a roster. It's adding a human being with a beating heart, with his own personality, to a locker room full of other individuals with their own personalities as well. And sometimes those things don't mix. And it's starting to feel like that just after a month and 1 suspension later, this front office, John Harbaugh, Eric DeCosta, everybody in that organization is kind of realizing maybe this doesn't fit. So this was the trade, Diontae Johnson and 2 6-rounders, one in 2025, one in 2026 for a 2025 5th-round pick. We asked you to grade the trade at the moment it was made. Now I'm going to ask you to look back on it and grade it in hindsight, okay? Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. You can be creative. Throw some pluses, throw some minuses in there as well. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's YouTube video. YouTube's about to throw you an ad break. And when they do that, take advantage of that time by scrolling down to the comment section, finding this comment, and give me your answer. So let's look at the snap counts because like he said, 5 games he's been with this team and 6 snaps, first game against Denver. You're kind of saying he's just making his way with the team. He's new to the roster. They're just kind of waiting him in the pool. And then 3 snaps against Cincinnati. And then 6 against Pittsburgh. You think, okay, maybe that production's going to ramp up. Expect to see him more against Los Angeles. I made a video over it. I thought we'd see him more against Los Angeles. 4 snaps. And then comes the Eagles game. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, you're playing Saquon, A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, that offensive line. You're going to need to keep up with them scoring points. You're going to need every best player you need out there. 0 snaps. Even Rashad Bateman hurting himself and having to leave the game in the second half, 0 snaps. And that to me was kind of okay, I think they're sending a message, right? Because it's one thing to be okay, Nelson Aguilar is going to play over you, which I don't even think should be the case anyway. But then when Rashad Bateman goes down and you're down a man and you still get 0 snaps, that's when the light bulbs in my head were going off and saying, this might be deeper than just skill level, than just talent, okay? Because it's confusing. Because if you look at his numbers in Carolina, like, he put up pretty solid numbers. 7 games played, he had 57 targets, 30 receptions, 357 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And mind you, this is with the Red Rifle, who's what, 104 at this point, and Bryce Young throwing in the football. Like, and you're doing that? That's why when they made the trade, I was like, guys, this is going to be a steal. And then 5 games in, he's benched practically, doesn't play a snap, and then the news comes down Wednesday at around 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern, that he's suspended for a game. And again, this doesn't really surprise me because of what John Harbaugh had to say at his press conference on Monday when he was asked about Diontae Johnson. He said, at this time, I'm just going to have to wait just to clarify it. There's some things moving, there's some moving parts there that we're going to have to figure out and explore and just see where we're at. I know that it's not the answer you want, but that's the best I can do in fairness to everybody right now. And John, I don't blame you for not giving up more answers than that. Obviously, I wanted more answers than that, but hey, that's what we got. I got more to talk about on Diontae Johnson, but before I talk about any of that, I got to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, and that is our friends over at PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. And PrizePicks puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions, like just last week. That can lead to big payouts. Last week on Thanksgiving, if Tyreek Hill had 1 receiving yard, you won that square. PrizePicks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. Let's take a look at my PrizePicks for this upcoming NFL Sunday. Ravens are on a bye, so I thought I'd dip in to a little bit of other different teams. I have the Bucky Irving more on 17.5 rushing yards, and of course, 106.5 rushing yards for Saquon Barkley against Carolina. I took the more on that as well. You can fade my picks. You can copy my picks. Just make sure you are using PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on PrizePicks. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. Why? Because it's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. And this is where I'm just going to end this episode on today, okay? I'm going to end it on, this just feels like a colossal miss for Baltimore. It really does. You knew you needed to improve in this wide receiver room. So you tried to do something. You tried to make a big splash. You gave up a 5th rounder. And I'm not saying like a 5th rounder is the most you give up, especially when you got somebody and you got 2 6 to go with it, right? There are worse trades to be made. But the fact that he's coming in and like, he's not just a bad player, but it seems like he's a bad teammate as well. So he's not just disrupting the play on the field, but it seems like, because he got a 1-game suspension, he's probably disrupting things in the locker room as well, which in my opinion, like it causes deeper damage for a football team than if he just sucked. If he just sucked, you just bench him, you don't play him, and that's it. But if he's like causing problems among the chemistry and the culture in the locker room, 4 weeks, 5 weeks after getting into town, you're already having to suspend him? Like, that's a giant miss. It's a giant miss. And he's not getting on the field either. So he's not helping in the actual football part of things either. He's a hurt to this locker room. He's a zero sum on the field. So you gave up a 5th rounder for just nothing, for a negative at this point. And so this just feels like a massive miss for Baltimore, if you're asking me, okay? Now, maybe he can overcome some things. Maybe this 1-game suspension can get his act into place, and he'll start playing good football. It'll be useful down the stretch, possibly useful in the playoffs. I don't feel positive about that right now. I don't see that happening. I don't know how you guys feel, but, like, that would surprise me if something like that happened, because he had character issues in Carolina. He sometimes had character issues in Pittsburgh as well, and they seem to have followed him to the Charm City on his third stop. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. This has been Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen. If you like today's video, make sure to like today's video. And if you like the channel, make sure to hit that sub button, because, again, when breaking news happens, we get you this video as quickly as we can.